You have the video locked up?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Ready to go? Or what?
Yeah, we're good.
I've got
Should
the
we
video
watch
up, yeah.
that first? Like near the beginning?
Yeah. It's just that one scene.
It's really dumb.
All right, so let's Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of 5 Idiots Talking Toys. I'm Shane and I'm here with you on a Sunday night for our Collectors Podcast. We like to talk all things pop culture, toys, movies, series, shows, whatever floats our boat. Thanks for joining us here on YouTube or your favorite podcast app. You can find everything about the show right in the description below. Click that link or go to 5idiotstalkingtoys.com. And you'll find our merch shop, our socials, and you can also support us on Patreon now. You'll get exclusive content, 5 Idiots After Dark, that is not so family-friendly as our YouTube is. You can also get early access to these episodes and our Wins and Whiff. Also, you'll get a preview to any collections and collectibles that will be going for sale on rogue5toys.com. Let's bring the boys in now. First, we have Brandon out in San Diego. How are you, Brandon?
Very good.
Good. Next, we have Christopher from Long Island. Chris, how is the pizza out in Long Island?
The pizza is fantastic. We get water straight from the Hudson River to make our dough. Perfect.
I heard the water is better from the East River, so might want to try that pizza. Next up, we have John Walden from Fort Ogle.
Hey, everybody! Oh,
Who wants a Necto peanut butter cracker?
yeah, I got my McDo from the gas station. Woo!
You get it. He got it right next to the sushi counter at the gas station. All right. Next, we have
Brandon.
Shane.
No.
Not Brandon.
Charles. I think is the only one.
Yes,
left.
Charles.
Charles. Sorry, Chris. We slapped you with your brother's name.
Well, number one, I was driving on the Parkway. It was in a pickup truck. And number two, he was slamming down Coors Lights. Number three, he had a beard. It looked like Shane.
And it turned out it was Adam Gothard.
I was hoping you were going to say, here comes Brandon, so I can go, I like cons. Cons are good. I enjoy cons. Yay, cons.
Correct.
Nice cons.
All right. So once again, please check out our Patreon. You can support us there. We're putting out content specifically for our patrons. And we're going to jump in now to tonight's topic.
Ugh.
We're going in real deep.
We're going in deep. So listen, we're 5 idiots. I don't know when this episode is going to air. The damn series might be over already. That's
Could
not
be.
the point. We don't care. We're just talking about it because it's fresh for us at the moment. We're 3 episodes deep of Ahsoka on Disney Plus. Brandon is up to his elbows. Charles is up to 3 knuckles of Ahsoka. Chris is at 0 knees. He has not even dipped a toe into the Ahsoka waters. And John has canceled his Disney Plus subscription for the 3rd time.
Again.
I actually canceled mine, just to say. But
Yeah.
So Ahsoka is we're only 2 weeks in. There was 2 episodes that were released on the first night, the premiere night. So we've only been 2 Wednesdays in here on Sunday night. Who wants to start us off? Let's start at the beginning. Episode 1 was a bit of an introductory episode, as we kind of expect with these shows. Chris, what did you think of episode 1?
I thought it was very slow and very boring. And see, and do you know how
I
you
like
said
cons.
it's an introductory episode? That's how like these shows all are. I keep saying when you're doing a show and it's 6, 8, like you shouldn't have time for an introductory episode. You should start right off with a bang.
Well,
If you're doing
like
12
real-
episodes, then I get it. But like 6, 8, 10,
Well,
you got to come out swinging.
real
I don't think Chris
series,
never even
the
saw it.
first episode is always the pilot. It's the one that they show, and then they're like, "Oh wow, that show's awesome. Here's some money. Make us the rest of the show." For whatever reason, Disney throws like, I don't know, it's just some weird story first episode, and they have to give you 2 of them. Like, you shouldn't have to give 1 and 2. You should just give 1 and just hook us all and be like, "Oh my god, I can't wait till the next week."
Going into it, I had zero desire to watch it. 3 episodes deep, I have zero desire to watch it.
Have you seen all 3 episodes?
I've seen all 3 episodes in my sleep.
He has not watched one
So
minute of the
There
show.
was not an introductory episode in the first episode. So
Shane just said it.
that was a false statement.
I didn't say anything. Shane said it.
Well, I'm just saying that's kind of like what people have been saying. Like, well, it's the first episode. It's an introduction to some of these characters, you know. But Charles makes a really good point, though. The first thing that jumped into my head when you said that was one of the all-time best first episodes ever was The Walking Dead. And I petered off with that, but that black and white first episode,
Well,
it locked the entire country into that show in one episode.
all the first episodes. You ever watch Lost? You ever watch
No.
Breaking Bad?
Yeah.
Prison,
The first episode
Prison
hooks you.
Break, Breaking Bad, all those shows.
Mandalorian.
Hooked.
Yeah.
Hooked. I was hooked.
Yeah, so that is
That's what
a
you should
good
do.
point.
I mean, that's the sign of a good television show. Like with Breaking Bad, I mean, in the first 10 minutes of the show, before the opening credits, they had me hooked.
Because you're in the desert with those first few minutes, right?
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
I
you're in
remember
the desert.
correctly?
Yeah, you see Walter White's pants
In his
and
underwear,
shirt
yeah.
flying down from the sky, and then
Yeah.
he has a video camera out, and he goes, "My name is Walter White. This is my last video confession." And you're like, "What the heck is going on?"
Yeah, it's crazy.
And that's how you start a series.
Yep. And then the first Ahsoka, I fell asleep.
And I'll tell you a recent one that's in my head that I'm sure a lot of people haven't seen, but the Yellowstone prequel 1883, which I absolutely loved. It's just a one and done season series, but that first episode, the father of the family's arriving in Fort Worth or whatever, Texas, and it's basically Deadwood. The whole town is straight up Deadwood that we all love.
Love Deadwood.
And it locks you in from the first episode. He steps off the stagecoach the first time, and all hell's breaking loose. People are shooting each other in the street. You're immediately locked into the show. You're like, this is great. So You're right. That is true about the first season.
Ozark.
The thing
Ozark.
with-
Same
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
The
So
thing with
Ahsoka-
Ahsoka, though, is that she's already been in all these other shows, so you don't
True.
need an introductory, episode.
True.
Like this is Ahsoka. Like, no, everybody knows who she is already. She was already in was it?
She's
season
in
2
Mando.
of, season 2 of Mando.
Yeah, and Boba. That's a great call, John, with Ozark. That first episode of Ozark is basically a movie unto itself. Like, the show doesn't start until the second episode.
Right.
Because the first episode is so great. It's like the whole story of their lives, and then the show starts.
Exactly.
It's so cool.
So, like, obviously, those are different kind of shows, but
Yeah.
I'll only go through the first 2 episodes of Ahsoka. I thought the first one was a little slow. It wasn't really that bad. I thought the second one was actually really good, and it wrapped up the first 2 episodes. So I was fine with the first 2 episodes. I wouldn't say it hooked me. I would say it was pretty good, like probably better than most of the crap they have been, showing. And I'll just stop there before episode 3.
Well, the first episode, she goes to the temple. Am I right? Am I not mixing up 1 and 2? She goes to the temple. She, does the cool scene with the double lightsabers, cuts the floor.
She
And
finds
then
the map to Luke Skywalker, and then
I mean, she ends up in an Indiana Jones situation, which is kind of cool. She's got to figure out how to unlock, we all like that, puzzles, trying to figure out like the Indiana Jones thing. And then when she comes out, there is a pretty good scene of her battling the assassin droids, right?
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, it was a pretty good deal. And somebody will have to queue up episode 2, kind of like what the gist happens there, because 1 and 2 blend together for me.
Yeah, I don't even remember it.
Sabine comes back to
Right.
life, and then
she loses the map, right? Or did she do that in the first one? Did she do that in the first one or the second one?
No, she loses the map in the third, I believe.
In the third one? See, I don't.
Yeah.
So we find out that
care.
Sabine was her Padawan, was Ahsoka's Padawan. If that wasn't revealed anywhere else before, I don't know. So we learn that Sabine is kind of wild. She's a loner. She lives at the outskirts of the city. And we also know that Ahsoka is a loner. She's got the droid with her. She's got her own ship, and she's going where she's needed. That's kind of what she says in the show. She goes where she's needed, and she can be helpful. And we find out, we saw that in Mando. She shows up when it makes sense. She was, she had a great episode, that first episode in Mando, when she goes to that fortress and, the whole Beskar staff. I mean, that whole episode is phenomenal. Great fight
memorable
scenes.
television.
Yes.
Well,
I remember that one. Yeah.
the adversary in that show is the same woman that she's chasing around right now. So,
and she's like Scarlet Witch or something. What is she? A witch of something, which apparently is a big deal in the comics, that the witches that she's part of, there's a lot of background to, and people were very excited that they're finally bringing those people, those women or whatever it is, into mainstream Star Wars.
I hope we get a whole series about the witches.
So my son nicknamed her Fugly. That witch.
Why?
Witch lady. Because she just looks really ugly.
Oh, God.
No.
Well, again, we talked about this a little bit in the trailer review episode that we did. The main protagonist, besides the witch lady, is played by Ray Stevenson, the actor Ray Stevenson, and his name is, what is it, like Bale, Bog, Burn, something like that, right? Balin. And he seems like a very cool character so far, but Ray Stevenson was one of the main 2 actors in HBO's Rome, which is an all-time show for me. It was only 2 seasons, but it was phenomenal as well. And he's fantastic in it. He's kind of the drunk sidekick guy to the main character, and he's fantastic in it. So I was super happy to see him showing up in Star Wars. Unfortunately, he's passed in real life just after they finished shooting and editing the show. So sad news there. And we saw the first episode dedicated to him, which was nice. Dave Filoni.
Oh, that's who it was for?
So our friend Ray is Ray Stevenson, who plays the main Sith-like former Jedi guy. So sad to know that he won't make it past season 1. We'll see how his character progresses in these 8 or 10 episodes.
So this brings us to episode 3, though.
Episode 3, right?
Mhm.
That's where we're at this past week. Who watched episode 3? Brandon, did you saw it?
yeah, I saw it.
Chris, did Jeffrey see episode 3?
Nobody in this household is watching episode 3.
Did you put on the show for your son even at all?
No.
Or he's just not interested either?
He doesn't care.
Episode 3 should be watched by everyone American household in the United States and worldwide.
I think it should be watched by every international household in the United States as well, like every non-American household in the United States.
Is it because it's a dumpster fire of a show or what?
I thought it was fantastic. There's Ahsoka and Sabine are on the ship. They're chasing down someone who stole light speed. What is it? No, they
the map.
stole an engine. They stole a map, yeah, but then they're stealing an engine from a junkyard and they go into space. And
That
oh my
space
gosh,
scene-
when they go into
that space
space,
scene-
woo!
Ridiculous.
Be
Cinematic.
serious.
genius.
Insane.
Do we have a clip of this?
Yeah.
Oh,
Let's
see it.
go to the videotape.
I would love to see this dumpster.
See if I can get over here and do this.
Work fast. I'm going out there. Out there? Out where? Just keep working.
She's just going outside for a minute.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll be right back, guys.
I'm gonna walk the dog.
That blonde woman looks like she's on meth. She looks so cracked out all the time.
I see.
Oh, it covers
What
the
is
hair
she
too.
wearing?
Okay.
I got it! I got it! Great. Look at me.
Everybody was kung fu fighting.
that's one of the stupidest Star Wars scenes and fakest. It's already fake because it's Star Wars. It's supposed to be fake, but they went like one notch up.
I have
It
one.
is ridiculous.
I have one that's similar that tops that. When Leia gets blown out of the ship,
Oh, that was the worst.
probably the worst scene I've ever seen in Star Wars.
You know,
So-
Brandon is so right. That was so much worse than this, and this was horrible.
As Princess Leia is floating through space,
Frozen, dead,
She's
frozen.
She figures something out, and then she uses the Force and floats back to the ship. Right,
Where is this?
unconscious. Right, something.
What was
like
his
that?
name?
I believe it's the Rise of Skywalker.
I
The
did
second
not
one,
watch
Second
that
one.
movie.
the second one of the new trilogy.
Yeah,
Brandon, no one watched.
Horrible.
The Last
I didn't
Jedi.
watch that one.
Jedi.
Whatever. Last Jedi. Yeah, Last
No,
Jedi.
yeah, was it the Last Jedi? I don't know. Yeah,
When they killed off Han Solo, I was done.
Yeah, I
That's the
hear you,
only-
John.
That's the only, like, I think was that episode 7,
Force Awakens.
The
Yeah.
Force Awakens.
Yeah.
I watched that one and then I was done.
You've never seen the other two?
Nope.
Oh my god, that's a revelation on the show.
So this space scene. So
Yeah.
Ahsoka is inside the ship. She says, "You fix it. I'm gonna go outside." She somehow puts on this space helmet that exactly fits
Like that.
all of her tentacles or whatever those things are called in a half of a second. She's out there. She's doing flips, cutting ships. Maniac.
Oh,
And
deflecting blasts from the.
all of a sudden she's like, "Well, you need to save me." And she
She can't
now
save
all of a
herself.
sudden she can't do flips and everything. She's floating around space like an astronaut.
Correct.
And then she moves the wing further up. All of a sudden she can run now. She can run through space perfectly fine. It is just absolutely
Can we-
the worst Star Wars freaking episode I've ever seen.
Can we just say that Star Wars has reached Fast and Furious level?
Charles, when you
Yeah.
messaged before, because I didn't watch that episode until Thursday night, like late night. So it had been out for like 48 hours. I just didn't get to it this week sooner. But when you messaged and said it was the worst space scene you ever saw, I expected the graphics to be really bad because there have been a couple of glitchy, weird graphics spots in like Mandalorian and Boba, like the face thing, like where they do the younger face thing. I kind of expected like bad graphics. To Disney and Lucasfilm's credit, the graphics are perfectly fine. Like,
Yeah.
the graphics are good. It wasn't that. It's the writing, the scene, what actually happens.
Mhm.
Rosario Dawson should have walked off the set when she read that she was going to be doing kung fu and fighting a starship in space in a in a unitard and one of those masks you wear when you're like painting with spray paint.
It just makes no sense. She can do a flip and cut a ship in half, and then all of a sudden she's floating in space and she needs help. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Stupid.
That scene was laughable for me. Like, I was, the rest of the episode was so. There was, one or two spots where I was like, okay, it wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen in total, but that scene was just so weird.
So John said it right. I don't know where he said it. Probably in the chat or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I hate Ahsoka. So I hated like little Leia from the Obi-Wan series. I hate Ahsoka.
John, you said that?
I guess I did.
Yeah.
Oh, the
She
arms
stands like
crossing.
this.
Arms crossed. I'm a tough girl.
And at least her makeup looks halfway decent. The green girl, whoever does her makeup, it looks horrible.
It looks like the 1978 Incredible Hulk green makeup.
Yeah. It looks really bad.
I 1000% agree with you. And I know that not all you guys have watched Rebels. I haven't even finished season
It's
2
like
yet.
a lot better on Rebels. It was
right.
A
like
cartoon.
I know it's a cartoon, but listen, if you're going to make the live action version of the cartoons, you've got to do that. Like, this is not 1985. You have
who that is?
CGI.
Do you know who plays her?
Yes,
Ewan McGregor's wife.
Ewan McGregor's wife, which is very cool. I
you
like
see
that.
like the contours of her skin. You shouldn't see that.
Let's put it this way. Here's a good Brandon will get this first and foremost. Ulah's makeup in Return of the Jedi is better than her makeup.
Oh yeah.
40 years later.
It looks awesome.
It looks like they put one layer of makeup on her and didn't go back for the second or third. It's weird. She is straight up green in the cartoon, and in the show, she's like, there's like splotches of green on her face. Like it just looks bad.
Yeah, it looks bad.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I mean, like I said, I had no desire to watch the show, but I was going to at like a later time, just watch them all in a row. And then every single person that I talk to outside of Sam's, everyone either hates the show or is like, it's okay. Like, there's nothing that like is making me want to watch this. And like, I get it. Like, it's a kid show. Like, it's made for kids. I've accepted the fact and I've let it go. I was a Star Wars fan 40 years ago. I love the movies. All this new junk that they're making, it's not for us. I'm not watching it. I don't care to watch it. I let it go. Just let it go, guys.
Just let it go. I do like seeing Chopper. I don't really know Chopper as well as I've only watched so much of Rebels, but Chopper looks awesome.
Run to the chopper.
I don't like Sabine. I don't like Sabine cutting her hair. I hate women cutting their hair. I've hated women cutting their hair since I was a kid. I hate it.
Shane, that was after the space scene. That was the second most fakest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I know.
Her hair is long, looks so nice. She cuts it. She just
a total wig.
Cuts it, and all of a sudden,
it's perfect.
You see her?
Yeah,
absolutely perfect. She went to a salon. She went to a salon.
It looked like a wig to me. It didn't look that great.
They call that like a pixie cut or something, lame. Like, I just hate that short hair. And she had the cool like multicolor hair, and she cut. It just turned. This show reminds me. Annoying.
This show reminds me of exactly what I said for the previews. All girls are good. All men are bad.
I don't see it like that black and white, but it is definitely we are women hear us roar show for sure. So far, absolutely.
100%.
But like in the cartoon, her hair is like longer. She doesn't look like Sabine that everybody knows. So I don't know. There's something little stuff like that throws me off, and maybe that's lame. But sorry, I noticed that stuff, and I'm like, why? I don't know why. I don't know why they did certain things.
Well, my thing is like, someone in one of our other chats groups that we're in said something about, well, it's a show and it's designed
Sam's.
and targeted for. I wasn't going to say the name, but it's targeted for 12-year-old girls, and I'm like, well,
So why are we watching it?
then why are middle-aged men getting bashed for not liking it?
Mm-hmm.
So
Because if you say something bad about it because it's Star Wars, they're going to bash you.
you're
But
not,
you know
you're not a Star Wars fan.
You're not a Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
You know why, John?
Why?
Because every grown man inside of you is a 12-year-old girl.
I don't even know what that even means.
I just didn't come to grips with that, I guess.
Well, I said it to you guys when we were watching the trailer. I'm open to any new Star Wars content. I struggle to imagine that it would ever get bad enough that I have to turn it off and not watch it. I'm still gonna watch it. Do I rush on Tuesday night? Geez, I mean, already by the second week it was out, I didn't care to rush on Tuesday night. I didn't care to rush on Wednesday night. Thursday night, I felt obligated because if there was any chance, we were going to talk about it or something, I wanted to have watched it. But I'm watching Jack Ryan on Amazon Prime over rushing to the third episode of Ahsoka. So, I love Star Wars, and I'm already like, eh. What's that, John?
I've been watching old episodes of Storage Wars.
Oh, Storage
Oh, John,
Wars is
guess what I
great.
saw today?
Oh, who's that?
Yep.
Dave Hester.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
Did you?
he sells at the flea market.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So funny.
He screwed him. He
I'll
screwed
send you. I'll
himself
send you a
because
picture. I took a couple pictures of him today.
Oh, that's cool.
he screwed himself because he badmouthed the show and they kicked him off the show, and then
Yeah.
his cachet went down the tubes.
Yeah, and then he came
That's
back.
why he's
later
selling,
on.
that's why he's
Yeah.
selling at the flea market.
He ended up
Right,
coming
right.
back though, like years later, I believe.
Yeah, but he had a lot of momentum with that catchphrase, and he lost it all by crapping on the show. But
He's kind of a tool.
yeah,
So let's go. Let's go round robin.
Okay,
Shane,
round robin.
are you watching
Close
episode
it out.
4?
Well, no,
Yes.
no.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
can't ask, "Are you watching it?"
yeah.
Of course, you guys are going to watch it. Let's ask another question, like, "Are you, are you enjoying it so far? Do you like it? Out of a 10, what is it? 5 out of 10.
Shane, I have to do what Chris says. Out of a 10, how do you like Ahsoka?
So far out of 10, I would give it a 6.
John,
Like just above average.
That's pretty high,
Dribble.
Shane. Jesus.
John's got a 4. Chris hasn't watched it, but he's going to give it a 0. I'm assuming.
0. Not even
Okay.
a 1. 0.
How about you, Brandon?
0.0.
I give it
Garbage.
a 4 with the chance of possibly increasing after I have enough time to watch Rebels and what do you call it? Clone Wars. So give me about 3 years to have enough time to sit down and watch I don't even know how many what is that, like 80 episodes?
Clone Wars is a lot. You know what? Honestly, when I say that I'm almost through season 2 of Rebels, that's a lot of episodes. I'm on episode 19 of season 2, and I'm not done.
And
Yeah,
Shane's
so-
watching 16 shows at one time.
So let me
watched
finish
16
all
with
that
the-
first, and
with
then
the
it
World
might
Cup.
change my opinion, because everybody that loves the show is a diehard Rebels and Clone Wars fan and understands what's going on. I think that the show is kind of passing us by because we haven't seen those things and understand.
That
I
is
think
absolute. That absolutely should be a disclaimer for this episode for everybody who's watching our channel or listening to our podcast right now. We are well aware that we're saying this without having watched Rebels and Clone Wars, and we understand that Ahsoka is already been deemed by Dave Filoni as season 5 of Rebels. So
Shane,
we're
you don't have to
lost
watch
a bit.
Shane, you don't have to watch 100 episodes of something to like one episode of this new show. They're supposed to make the show so
I
you like
agree.
it from the beginning.
I agree, but there's probably those little nuances and Easter eggs that we would be enjoying that are going right
or
over
the characters themselves are.
I was a hard 4 after the first 2 episodes. I'm a soft 2 right now.
You were a throbbing 4.
Yeah,
It's funny because
now you're
Just
a
a hard 4.
Charles
He
is
was a
hard.
rising
Charles is
four.
hard 4, but like when you spoke to him, it sounded like a 12 out of 10.
No,
Like,
I said it
he
was
loved
good.
it
He was
so
like
much.
he was
No,
red.
I said it was
throbbing.
good.
Yeah.
Red
not
hot and
great.
throbbing.
I said
when it first
good,
came out.
not great.
He was throbbing
Good
everywhere.
show.
Even
Good show.
Charles, even if your wife enjoys your hard 4, I doubt she's enjoying your soft 2.
The soft 2.
So she's not watching with you, probably.
Yeah, it's a limp. It's a
Episode
limp.
3 was one of the worst Star Wars episodes I've ever seen in my entire life. I would rather watch the entire Boba series.
It didn't go
Over and over
anywhere. The episode didn't go anywhere. It's like
It was
really
silly.
you wasted
was
a
boring.
whole episode on that.
Boring.
The word is silly. It was a silly episode 3.
Yeah, like
It was
really
silly.
I don't know.
Disney
Disney
things in the
Disney,
spaceship, and then you jump
Disney
out of the
ruined
spaceship
Star Wars
and-
for me.
Charles, I will say this, though, on behalf of Charles. For anybody who's watching, we try to have fun, make jokes. Charles is not hamming it up. He genuinely hated episode 3 and is annoyed because the show just kind of dropped off a cliff,
Look how
whatever
pissed
little
he is.
cliff it was
He's so
on for
pissed.
episode 3.
He's so pissed right now.
He's actually pissed. Yeah.
1 and
So-
2 were good. It wasn't great. It was
But
good, though.
you see, he's saying it's good, but he gave it a hard 4. Now,
Yeah,
I don't
hard
know where
4.
you guys come from, but if anything gets a 4, that's not considered good.
Listen,
Like,
I
good
gave
is
it a
7.
semi 6.
good is
Chris,
7 and up. 6 maybe?
Ahsoka, it's a girl with 3 thingamajiggies coming from her head. Like,
Thought it was only 2.
how much higher are you going to go with it?
I don't know. You were so pumped and throbbing about it, and now you're saying it's a hard 4. Like a 4
Listen.
usually means it's bad.
I made up pumped. I made up throbbing. You can't use these 2 words against me.
He was pumped. At one point, he was throbbing. At one point, he was a hard 4. Now he's a soft 2. I thought I was a semi 6. Apparently, I was overreaching. Maybe it wasn't even a 6.
I don't rate Star Wars. A Star Wars series is not Breaking Bad. That's a 10 out of 10.
Right.
Ahsoka ain't getting anything over a 5 unless it's like really, really good. So
But I would say that Mandalorian season 1 was up there.
it's probably like a
in
6.
the same
It's like a
same
6.
stratosphere as
No,
like
don't say
Breaking
that.
Bad.
It's like a
Huh?
6.
Don't say
You
it's a 6. That's not fair.
Breaking Bad?
No.
Mandalorian season
Mandalorian
1.
season
Mandalorian
1 doesn't even
season 1.
touch Breaking Bad.
No. In the same stratosphere. I didn't say it touched it, but I mean, as far as good television, it had me hooked at the beginning.
It was good
Had me
television.
hooked
yeah.
through the whole series. Season 1 was fantastic of Mandalorian.
I would give it an 8.
Yeah, I'd
An
say
7.5 and 8. Yeah, it was very enjoyable.
I'd say
Shane,
8. Yeah,
We're talking about the most watched shows ever. Like
Mandalorian
Walking Dead
season 1
and Breaking
is up
Bad.
there.
Mandalorian, you're gonna put it up there with those?
When you say
Doesn't
most
belong,
watched,
yeah.
I mean it was one of the
Doesn't
most
belong
watched.
up that high.
It's a
Listen.
different genre. You can't
Yeah.
compare them.
Listen, I'm not going to get into a serious argument with you because I am a TV nut, and Breaking Bad, Sopranos, Deadwood. I mean, these shows are untouchable.
Yep.
You
They're
have
amongst.
to-
There's like 10 shows, and then
You
everything
have
else
to
is
rate
below
them
it.
like accordingly. Like Sopranos is a 10. Like that's your like love of your life show. You
Yeah.
can't put Mandalorian at an 8. It's right near it. It's not that close. It's
Yeah, but-
Mandalorian season 1. I thought.
I
was
thought Mandalorian was actually really, really good. Like the first
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
The third season, it fell off a cliff. It basically stepped in a big pile of shit, went on fire. But
Charles season 3 better than season 1.
I didn't say that.
absurd.
Well,
Just-
But you and I
Absurd,
really
yeah.
do like season 3 though.
season
I do
three.
like season 3.
Season
Yeah.
3 is so bad.
Let's put it
So-
this way: if you have a season of a show, and it's 8, is it? Was it 8 episodes or 10?
It was 8.
It was so
8.
good that no one even
It
knows.
was 8.
So you have 8 episodes, and 1 is a clunker. If you've got 7 out of 8, that's pretty good. It's pretty good. I mean, like it's hard to write. Every episode be great, but that one Jack Black, Lizard,
Lizard. Yeah,
Lizard. And
Lizardo.
Christopher Lloyd when he's 106 years of age. I mean that episode. If you just take that out, you got an enjoyable season.
So if you compare Andor to Ahsoka, that's a good comparison, right? Because they're both in the same universe, telling the same type of stories. Then Andor would be a 10. Is that what you're saying?
And it's in line with The Sopranos?
No, you said
we're talking about. We're not talking about that right now. We're just talking
We're
about.
not talking about that. We're talking
Star
about
Wars
as
series.
far as like the Star Wars universe. Right?
I have a problem with saying that Andor's kind of like Ahsoka. I think Ahsoka's more like Mandalorian. Andor is kind of a different feel Star Wars show. It's not lightsabers, it's not force powers. It's like a drama, it's more like other TV shows than Star Wars.
It is a fantastic Star Wars story.
Yes. So you mean it wasn't made for 12-year-old girls? Gotcha.
Right.
Right. As much as you know that I... Go ahead.
I would put Andor at like a 7.
You guys know that I love Rogue One, and Andor is like Rogue One. There's no Jedis, there's no
I love Rogue One.
Typical Star Wars stuff.
I'd say Rogue One is probably the second best Star Wars film.
Yeah, I've said that.
Like ever?
It's really good.
Wow.
The story, this is like the encapsulated story.
I agree with it, but
fantastic.
It's not anywhere near like Walking Dead or Lost or like all those shows. Like
Charles, nobody likes Lost. Stop saying Lost.
I like Lost till season 5.
Everybody
I love Lost. Lost is one of my favorite shows.
I liked Walking Dead until season 29.
I know.
When Rick had a beard and a wig, and
not only did the show end last year, now they have a spin-off show this year, which has already started.
Yeah,
so
it's due, right?
It should have ended years ago.
What is it?
So it's Daryl and Carol in one, and then it's who's the bad guy's name? I forgot his name.
Negan.
It's Negan.
Negan's still alive?
It's Negan and who's the girl?
What's it called?
The girl from season. The girl from season 2, Maggie.
Glenn's girlfriend.
Maggie.
Maggie died.
No, Maggie never died. So they're in the show. It's Negan and Maggie. It's called Walking Dead. I think The Dead City.
Is it good? Have you watched it?
Am I going to spoil this? Yeah.
No. I'm just saying, like, have you watched it? Do you enjoy it? Is it something you've seen already?
It. Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
Because you recommended to me that I should go back and pick up Walking Dead where I
don't think the Daryl and Carol started yet.
Okay.
But I know that Rick and Michonne are going to be on that also.
Okay.
So it's almost like they ended the Walking Dead original, but like they spun off and they're still all the main characters.
Have you watched have you watched through season 29 of The Walking Dead, or did you stop somewhere like I did?
I stopped, but I went back and I watched all of them.
I stopped also.
The actor who plays Rick Grimes left the show. So are you saying
he came back?
You're saying in the spinoff he comes back?
So he left the show because he didn't want to work. He's from the UK, I believe, and he didn't want to be in Georgia anymore, like away from his family. Yeah. So he didn't leave the show because he hated the show. He just wanted to be closer to home.
So they taped it in Georgia?
They taped in Georgia.
They film it in Georgia,
They filmed it in Georgia.
Yeah.
Fort Oglethorpe?
Not Fort Oglethorpe, but
okay.
I think it was like Atlanta. I don't know what it was.
Wherever they film it in Georgia, there's an Oglethorpe street, drive, or road, like right down down the way. Yeah.
But no, so Rick is coming back to the show.
Okay.
They filmed the Avengers in Georgia too, right?
That I didn't know.
Yeah.
Yep.
But go back and watch Walking Dead, Brandon.
Filmed in Georgia.
Because they changed the writers, I want to say around season 8. And once they changed the writer of the show, it got so much better.
I just wanted it to end already. I was
I get you.
Get eaten and call it good.
John, is it true that the Avengers, the Battle of New York, was shot near Fort Oglethorpe?
I don't know if the Battle of New York was.
Like, how did they make the Empire State Building in Georgia?
Do what?
How did they make the Empire State Building in Georgia?
I don't think that scene was shot there. I mean, most of the principal filming for all the Marvel movies is in Georgia, though.
Well, you know what? Georgia is very well known for like the tax breaks and stuff for Hollywood. So they shoot a lot of stuff in
Oh,
Georgia.
so that's probably why. Okay.
Like Canada and Georgia are two of the biggest filming locations for all of movies and series.
Georgia's number 4 in the world and number 2 or 1 in the States.
I believe it. Yeah, if you watch the end of a series that you like, you're going to see that Georgia peach come up at the end of a series and say filmed in Georgia.
Number 1 in your life.
John knows everything about Georgia.
Well, I taught dramatic writing, and I went to school. I went to training at Pinewood Studios in Atlanta.
Charles, you don't have a hair on a peach to name a show that wasn't filmed in Georgia.
You can't say that again. You already said hair on a peach once.
Oh, I just love it so much.
You've reached the hair on the peach limit.
Yeah. All right, so here we go. Another quick round robin.
Stranger Things also filmed in Georgia.
Oh my God. Stranger Things, 10 out of 10, John. You're going to put freaking Andor at an 8?
All right.
Andor's
Do
an 8.
you guys
Holiday.
think, let's go around. Do you think that we will see Mando in this series, in this season 1 of Ahsoka? Are we going to see Mandalorian?
Yeah.
100%. 100% yes.
100% now. 100% now.
They had to bring him in during Boba to save the series. So, correct.
That's exactly what I was going to say too.
Yep.
Correct.
You know why?
Yes.
Man.
Well, the man has to come and save the day, right?
He ain't coming.
John. How dare you? All right, so that there is talk, or wonderings or rumors of whether or not we will see Mandalorian and or Boba Fett in this series, because keep in mind this season of Ahsoka is taking place at the exact same time frame as Mandalorian season 3 and Book of Boba Fett, which are happening, one after the other, back to back. So it's real in terms of the timeline, but I wonder if we will see appearances from any of those characters.
This show sounds like when a kid sits in a brown paper bag, lights it on fire, and throws it on someone's porch, and then they ring your doorbell, and then you run outside and you step on it, and now you have shit all over your foot. That's what this show sounds like.
Old Man Withers called the poop.
It just sounds like one big storm. No desire to watch this crap at all.
Don't put it out with your boots, Ted. Don't tell me my business, devil woman.
Devil woman.
Welcome back to 1978.
No offense to whoever's watching it, but the only people who are really loving this wear Star Wars shirts every single day. They watch Star Wars every single day. They have a Star Wars collection. They have a Star Wars spoon and a Star Wars bowl and Star Wars cup. They're just all about Star Wars. They just love everything Star Wars. They love this show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, you know who else is probably loving this show, and I'm not saying it as a critical thing, but maybe we should ask him. Actually, is our friend of the show, the Padawan Collector. He's a huge Ahsoka fan, like Ahsoka the character. He that's his focus figure. So if you watch his channel at all, he's doing the vintage run, the vintage play sets and ships. He's a huge Ahsoka character fan. So I'm wondering if he's enjoying it.
No one can go on video with a straight face and say episode 3 was good.
I agree. It was silly. It was a silly story and premise.
They're going to say it wasn't that bad.
But we should give Joey a shout and see if he's enjoying the show so far, because he was definitely pumped for it, and it's his focus figure. He collects the modern toys as well. So I wonder if those people who are into Rebels, into Clone Wars, and into Ahsoka, which we saw tons of at the con, are they enjoying the storyline so far? Are they enjoying the treatment that it's getting, the graphics, and all that stuff?
I'm sorry, but so Brandon just sent us a message.
What did he say? But Charles, show the GIF that he sent before that. That's one of my favorite of all time from Chappelle's show.
Oh my God, I'm dying.
You better wrap it up, B. Wrap it up. It's the best.
What's the other one that he sent?
Well, that was the dog one we showed already.
Oh, the dog. The dog. This dog gets me every single time.
Oh my god! So, a little behind the scenes. Whenever somebody has had enough of an episode in this group of 5 of us, it's just a message to everybody: wrap it up. Let's go. So I think we've said
Brandon has had enough.
He's had enough
14 minutes ago.
Oh, excuse me. All right, so that's what we've got for you so far on the first 3 episodes of Ahsoka on Disney Plus. Again, you may be watching this. We may be on episode 8 or it's done. Whatever, go back and watch it again. Laugh with us about episode 3 and the space expedition of Ahsoka. We will we'll continue to jump back to the show as we find something to talk about while it's out. And we'll, of course, always talk about all the toy lines, vintage and modern, here on 5 Idiots Talking Toys. Check out the link below in the description. You can check out our merch shop, grab a t-shirt, a hat. You can also support us on Patreon if you're enjoying our content. We'll put out exclusive content for you and some other benefits. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time here on YouTube or your favorite podcast app. Good night, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.